Hi, how are you guys doing? Interesting day, right? Lots of breaking news going on, including a disaster of a press conference by the president, which I'm not even sure what the hell that was about. But we are back again for breaking news, and yes, this is bad news. So we do have the breaking news sound that should be here now.
Breaking news! Breaking news!
Okay, guys. So the breaking news is out of the great state of Florida, or not so great state, whatever. But it is what it is, right? And this deals with um the appeals court for the 11th circuit, and it happens to deal with our current why the hell Richard our current uh Attorney General Pam Bondi. This was the National Rifle Association v. Pam Bondi, which is a challenge, and it's 169 pages, so we're not going to go over all of it. But it was a en banc, and yeah. So there was a challenge to the Florida law that says you're not allowed to buy firearms, including rifles and shotguns, if you're under 21 from an FFL. This is all due to a psychopath who purchased a gun and shot up a school. We're not going to mention that psychopath's name because we never do. And we're not going
to occurred once.
What?
This occurred once. This isn't like it's a repeat, multiple occurring thing. It occurred once. So now they're making a law for it.
Yeah, this is the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas bill, one of it. So that's part of this bill that did that. And Pam Bondi defended it because she believes in it. So that maybe that's why Trump did what he did, because she probably was like, I don't know anything about 2A stuff. So Pam Bondi actually defended this in the Florida courts, and now we have
so this is age to purchase.
Age to purchase, yes.
And now we 21.
Now we have an opinion back, and the 11th Circuit upheld the Florida law. They used 1868 as the
Jim Crow era,
as the founding era, which is the ratification date of the 14th Amendment. So we have like the 2nd and the 11th using 1868. We have like the 9th and the 5th using 1791 for the 14th Amendment. So we definitely have a circuit split, which means that the Supreme Court is most likely going to take this up. But okay, let's go ahead and break down how it works. If you make a Second Amendment challenge, you use what's called the Bruin standard now, the Bruin test. First is original text of the Second Amendment. Are people between the ages of 18 to 20 part of the people? The people is the age of the majority. The anti-gunners always argue that should be 21 because during the founding era, 1791, the age of the majority was 21. But there's tons of militia laws from the days that say that 18 is the age to own a firearm. So by looking at that, the people in the Second Amendment must be those of 18 and over. So that is the people. The protected arms. What is the protected arms? Firearms are protected arms. So step one here is checked off. What happens is that it goes to step two. Step two of Bruin is the tradition and history of firearms regulations from the founding era. Now, if you use 1791, it's more clear because there wasn't a lot of firearms laws in 1791.
Right.
What happens is anti-gun states, and Pam Bondi in this one used 1868 as the founding era, and the 11th Circuit bought it. why that is significant is 1868 was during the Reconstruction period after the Civil War, and during the Reconstruction period, there were these little things called Jim Crow laws. Some guy named Jim Crow made a bunch of laws. Jim Crow laws are racist laws, and there were a lot of racist gun control laws that were set in motion during 1868, which is the ratification date of the 14th Amendment, to prevent formerly enslaved people, because I don't believe that what like, some a lot of people use the word, like, like, freed slaves. Well, once they're freed, they're not slaves anymore. That's why I like using formerly enslaved individuals. It's a personal choice, and it's an intentional choice to say formerly enslaved individuals, because I don't believe in slavery, and once you're free, you're not a slave anymore. So you can say former slaves, or you can say, like, a freed slaves. It just doesn't work out to me. But that's neither here nor there. So these laws were passed to prevent black people from getting guns. And Bondi, the examples she used were 1868 laws. A lot of them racist gun laws, because the root of any gun control is in racism. You can go back to 1868, or you can go back into the 60s with Reagan and the Mumford laws in California. They're all based on racism. They also used a lot I'm trying to get through this because we got a podcast coming up at 5. I haven't set it up. They also used a lot of, um, stuff from Blackstone. Blackstone is a legal book from back in the day about common law. So they used, um, a lot of that. It's definitely interesting, but the law was upheld, and now, the NRA can appeal to the Supreme Court. They will have to file what's called a writ of certiorari, or also called a writ of cert. What writ of cert is, it's basically a petition to the Supreme Court asking the Supreme Court to grant cert. Granting cert means that they decide they're gonna grant the petition and take up the case. We'll have to see what SCOTUS does. I am 100% positive that the NRA is going to go to SCOTUS with this and try to get them to answer it once and for all. If they were smart, what they would do is point out the discrepancies on the founding era. Like, is it 1868? Is it 1791? And they will say, hey, we got a circuit split here, because a circuit split increases the chances of the courts taking it a lot more. What about GOA? This was not a GOA case. There are other cases that GOA is fighting down there, but this is not a GOA case. But there is a GOA case that might affect this. The Antioch case, which there's a writ cert filed for that. If the Supreme Court grants that, one of the reasons why they're asking the Supreme Court to grant that is because there is a circuit split on what constitutes the founding era. Now, if Antioch is granted and they determine that the founding era is 1791, the Supreme Court, which I'm sure that they probably would do, then what they would do is probably grant, vacate, and and remand the case back down, GVR. Basically saying you have to look at this from 1791, you can't use 1868, because without this 1868 analogs, there's no way this case would survive a Bruin challenge. So I am sure that we're going to see this be challenged at the Supreme Court level. I'm not sure if they are going to grant certiorari or not, but it might not have to. It might be GVR, because of if the Supreme Court grants Antioch and decides that the founding era is 1791, I can see this case definitely getting GVR'd in that case. But I just wanted to make you guys aware of what is going on in this case, and it's not a victory, but there's a lot of breaking news today, man.
Indeed.
But we do have a podcast coming up in about 20 minutes here, and I gotta go set that up. But just wanted to let you guys know what exactly was going on and what the 11th Circuit decided, and we'll have to see what happens. The others find another way around Bruin, no repercussions exactly. Until we start holding these guys responsible, they're going to keep on doing that. But with that, we're out of here. Rich, you want to add anything before we get out of here and prepare for our podcast?
No, I think that's pretty clear about what's going on.
Well, you enjoy your fishing in the lake behind you.
Yep. Thank you.
See you in a few.